evening. Before we start up, let me just acknowledge the presence of our eminent guest. We have the Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly, Shri Kemchand Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, Babina Group, Dr. Thangjam Dabli, Director, Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of Manipur, Mr. Armstrong Pame, IAS, and the President of Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Radheshyam Oinam, with us this evening. And we also have many distinguished dignitaries with us today, but we won't be able to, give the we can't address one by one. Forgive us for that.
May I call upon the General Manager, Overseas Point, Mr. Suraj Guru Aribam, to please give the welcome address.
Good evening, everyone, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I like to extend the first welcome to Shri Y. Kemchand Singh, Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly. I also extend my welcome to Dr. Dabli, Chairman and Managing Director, Babina Group. Extend my welcome to Dr. Radheshyam Oinam, President, Manipur Commerce and Industry. And it's an honor to welcome Mr. Armstrong Pame, IAS, Director of YAS and Education U. And again, it's really great pleasure for me to welcome all to be a part of this inauguration ceremony, Overseas Point. We are the first immigration consultant in the state. This concept of starting immigration consultant, the first idea came from our chairman, Dr. Raj Singh, who is a president, who is a chairman as well as a president of wiseworldimmigration.com. That is a licensed immigration consultant of Canada. He's a Canadian, and the reason why he wanted to, have this organization in Manipur is because of the experiences or the feedbacks he got from the people of Manipur. We all know that immigration, let's say, if you want to, do your further studies abroad or maybe for work or immigration, it's really challenging for us that we have to go to Calcutta, Guwahati, Shillong, or maybe Delhi, Mumbai. It takes time and also the cost factor. Now, we have come across with agencies who, mislead the clients. So looking at this, feedback and, we as Manipuri, we have been struggling to go abroad. So that is why he has designed this concept. So why not we have in Manipur? And in fact, when we started, actually, the organization kicked off in the month of April this year, 2018. So we have been working really hard to find the correct resources and then design the business model and how to go about it. And yes, we have been asking to ourselves, where are we heading? And the answer is, we're heading forward. We are here to help, to guide the people of Manipur, that if they have interest to get world-class education or working abroad, the world-class opportunities of working or trying to understand the world culture of these advanced countries, then we are here to help the people of Manipur. When I first joined this organization, I have been asking the same question. Have I made the right decision joining this organization? So working with our chairman, then our managing director or vice president, one fine day, we were, helping each other to clean our office, our new office. Then our chairman, I was designing a business model, the strategy, how to run the operations. So I was a bit unfair with my team members. while designing the business model. So our chairman came up to me and I showed the business model to him. And he said, Suraj, let's be fair with our employees. And that clicked to me. And I got the answer. I have joined the right place. So that started, that's how I started. That, okay, if this is what our chairman or stakeholders want us to work on, then this is something we would be delivering to the people of Manipur. We are starting our operations on 17th of this month, and we have enough number of services available. We have crash courses as well, and that will be detailed, explained by our chairman in the presentation. And above all, we as an organization, on behalf of Overseas Point, we thank you for your time coming, all the way from your office or your work, from your home, to be a part of this ceremony. And it's really an honor, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your warm welcome, sir. We'd like to apologize that it was not kutsem.com who is arranging the YouTube and the Facebook Live, but it is kumhai.com. We are sorry for that. Going forward, we would like to call upon, we would like to call upon our chairman of Overseas Point, Dr. Raj Singh, to give the brief introduction of our new company, Overseas Point. Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, Sheila. Honorable Speaker of Manipur Assembly, Sri Y. Kemsan Singh, and our dignitaries of the function present here today, Dr. Dhabali and Mr. Armstrong Pame and Dr. Radhesyam Oinam, and distinguished guests here, ladies and friends. Very good evening to every one of you. I live in Ottawa, in Canada, and I work as an immigration consultant. And I am a gold member of the Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultants. And I have been working there for the past 5 years, and during which I failed to help the Manipuri clients because I didn't get many of them in spite of all my efforts. And then I felt that there's something going wrong. And so very soon I started consulting people here, and it's on their advice that I came down here to set up an office so that we arrange all those things an overseas opportunity seeker might be needing. And so I'll be talking about all those facilities we'll be keeping at our office here in Imphal. And before I introduce my company, I would like to introduce my colleagues, Mrs. Karuna Nongthombam and Mr. Sanjeev Konsam. Karuna is our Vice President, and Sanjeev is our Managing Director. And so we are working very hard, and I feel that I have got the right colleagues. And then again, I have to mention that I have got an excellent team of workers with me, and so I am lucky that way. So we'll be trying to deliver what the people need. Thank you. So Overseas Point at the moment is housed in a rented building of only 1,400 square feet near Palace Compound. And it was not possible for us to host this function on site. But we have brought Overseas Point here in a short video. And so please watch the video. Can somebody help me roll down the screen? I need to stop it. Escape Okay. Okay, so that was Overseas Point. You got a glimpse of it. Slideshow. Oh. Thank you. So, yeah, you had a glimpse of our small company, and there was a message also. And so my next presentation is going to take a cue from that message, which was that we live in a small world today. The world is very small today, and it's getting smaller and smaller because of a past wave of global connectivity. So this is the map of the world where we live today. And you can see this map is different from the physical map of the world, the political map of the world that we know. And there are thousands of kilometers of pipelines, roadways, railways, and then this communication cables, etc. So those are connecting the world and then binding the nations. And so when nations want to go against each other, this connectivity is keeping them, holding them back. And so there are uncontrollable and then this very dreadful forces like geopolitics and then the world trade, and the forces are so big that sometimes they cause the nations to, let's say, almost fight. But at the same time, again, because of the connectivity and the interdependability, they are held back, and so they don't fight. And so that way, the global connectivity is the new essence of life in the world today. And Dr. Parag Khanna is an expert in the international relations. He works at the National University of Singapore, and he wants to call this new study of global connectivity as connectography. And I have been talking about the global connectivity because the global connectivity causes the mobility of the world population from one country to another. So people move at such a rate that there are 24 million people move from one country to another every year in search of opportunities. And in this game, India is a major player. India is known as the migration superpower because India has the biggest diaspora population in the world, 25 million people living abroad. And they send back as much as 70 billion US dollars back to India every year. And again, this is the largest remittance money a country gets in a year. So the history of the Indian immigrants is about 2,000 years old. This, as early as 3,000 years BC, people in the Indians started moving to the Southeast Asia during the time of Ashoka the Great. And then the traders reached Central Asia and South Asia. They went to the Middle East and they went to Singapore and Malaysia. And then again they went to the eastern coast of Africa and countries like Seychelles and Mauritius. And then later on, the British, when India came under British rule, they took millions of people as indentured laborers two countries in the Caribbean region, and then to as far as Fiji. And so Indians have been moving to faraway places and throughout the history. But the significant turn in the immigration history is that when the economic migration started in modern times around 1970s, and this time also India played very big, and many immigrants started going this time to the West and then to the petrodollar countries in the Middle East. And so in all these happenings, Manipuris have been moving very little. I mean, a little towards the Burma, and then to Assam, and then Bangladesh, and so and that's all. And then those were also displaced people, and they didn't go in search of opportunities. So that was the difference. And so we haven't been exposed to the opportunity-seeking mission of the world. And so the reason why Manipuris have not been participating in the modern economic immigration is due to the lack of awareness about the opportunities available overseas, and the lack of local service agencies. As our GM had mentioned, people had to go to other parts of the country to avail of the say services, but we didn't have a facility here. And then lack of institutional support system, because in many countries skill export policies are there. When they cannot give employment to all the people, countries like Philippines, they train their people, and then they try to export to other countries where these skilled workers are required. So when we talk about global connectivity, there should be two processes. One is that we have to be explored by the people from other parts of the world. And so that about 8 years ago, there was an archaic law of the government of India called as Protected Area Permit, PAP. Because of that, foreigners had difficulties coming to Manipur. And so in the year 2010, when I was the founder president of Manipuri Association of Canada, we launched a global online petition against the PAP. And as many as 3,000 people signed up from all over the world. And there were people here working for, say, to assist us locally, many politicians and journalists and so things like that. And finally, we submitted the petition to the Ministry of Home Affairs. And within a month, PAP was removed. And ever since, foreigners started having, say, an easier entry to Manipur. But still, there are a lot to be done by the government of Manipur to welcome more tourists and then more visitors, more investors to Manipur. And the second thing, the second process is reaching out to others. We need to go out and meet people and then explore things outside. And remaining here, we cannot learn everything and we cannot do everything. So we have to connect with people from outside. And the other process is that we need to go outside. And that's where our new company fits in. So we are going to create such a system that people, whosoever wants to go outside, will be informed about the opportunities available there. They will be coached, they will be trained, and then they will be guided and they will be assisted to go for those kind of opportunities. So when we go for that, we are trying to have all these facilities here. We will be giving overseas education assistance. And our service will be different from all those student recruiters you meet in Delhi, Bangalore, like that, in the sense that, in the sense that when we arrange a course and then a college or a university for the client, we will be doing an extensive survey because we have to make the education useful to the student. Because as we have seen by living there, these student recruiters, they just recruit the students and then wash off their hands. And so they don't care about whether the particular course, the program of study is going to help the student or not. The second thing will be that we will be giving the visa services also, which other consultants do not give. And so that way our service will be different from those given by the student recruiters sitting in Delhi. And overseas employment, we will be giving the employment market information of all these English-speaking countries, Canada, US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. And there are, say, certain corridors where we may be able to tie up with the employers there and then recruit the employers. And that may not be possible at the higher skill levels, but at the temporary foreign workers category, like agricultural workers and then skilled trades workers, etc. And permanent resident visas and other visas. For eligible people, say for those people who have higher education and have some reasonably long work experience, then they may be accepted for the permanent resident visa in Canada, which is called green card in the US. In the US, it's very, very difficult to get the green card. It takes about 9-10 years, and then the people have to wait in uncertainty for a long time. But in the case of Canada, process is quite certain, and once eligibility is touched and the application is processed, we know that it will be coming. So that's the difference. And then again, the process is so fast that we can arrange the permanent resident visa within a year's time. So skills training. So when they try to go outside and go for opportunities, they will need certain skills in English, for example, and then in computer applications, and even the soft skills. And then, say, without people skill, nobody will, even if, say, one is higher, then he will prove very soon that he's a misfit. Because people skills, soft skills are very, very important when you work outside. And then there will be cultural adaptation skills, and then workplace adaptation skills, and all those things. Instead of letting them go there and learn quite anew, we will be giving them all those tips when they are here and then before they take their flight. And still, skill trade certification assistance is another process in which we will be seeking coordination with government agencies and other institutions, because skilled trades are, say, like plumbers, electricians, and then so those kind of blue-collar workers. And for countries like US and Canada, they have certain standards, and so this is called Red Seal certification. And without that, they won't be able to get a job. And so there are certification programs and then training programs for that. And so once we are able to set up a tie-up with training providers from Canada, for example, and with our existing polytechnics, engineering college, and then ITIs, etc., then there will be a corridor through which we'll be able to send these skilled test workers. And IELTS coaching and test center is another facility which is going to help a lot of people, because when they go to English-speaking countries, the IELTS is an essential thing. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System, and so this is conducted by IDP and the British Council. And because of the lack of the coaching facility here, many people, many of my older clients, they had a reluctance to go for their application because they had to go to places like Calcutta, Guwahati, and then where if they go there and stay there for coaching 15 days, 20 days, the cost when we calculate, it comes up to 50, 60,000 who will pay for that. And so once we have the coaching facility here, then things will be easier for them. And as we grow on, when test taker numbers increase, then after that we will approach the British Council to allow us to run a test facility. And then at that time, things will be much easier for the people. And we are going for some other programs like, this is some kind of an intervention in which we give the proper career counseling. We have seen here during the past few years, there is an increase in career counseling activities, but the career counseling without an assessment of the learning ability and the mental aptitude and then mental capability, IQ, etc. of the person, we are not giving the proper career counseling. So the career counseling is not lecturing about say a particular field of occupation and then what one can expect from that program and all. But career counseling is strictly a one-on-one activity, strictly based on the assessment of the abilities, learning abilities of the person. So we shall be going for, say, Brain Checker Techno Services is India's #1 brain assessment system, and so we are a franchisee, and we'll be adopting those techniques, and we'll be going for the assessment, and then after that we'll do the career counseling based on the 400 different occupations linked to that system. And the computer touch typing for kids is another thing we want to introduce here, because in today's world, say in our time, we used to do the, copybook writing. That was for improving their handwriting, right? Cursive writing and all those things. But today, for our kids, this is the touch typing, because when they go to the classroom, and when they go to conference, and when they go to any other workplace, then the one with touch typing skills will have some 30% advantage over those who do not have that skills. So when we talk about the global competitiveness and then preparedness for the global opportunities, etc., then we need to train our young kids starting from the age of 7 and 8 to have this kind of so this is a very effective game-based playway type of learning, and we are going to introduce this one. And mind management sessions for adults, and this is a combination of guided meditation and then positive learning and then laughter therapy in one session of the show. And the local, this TEDx platform. TED is a movement, a worldwide movement of say, public speaking. Within 18 minutes, one doesn't need to say speak more than that, and then speaking with full logical force, and then no biasness, no controversy, and then the perfectly engaging the audience with a sense of humor. So it started in Canada, and then now the world has been caught by its storm, and so there are places all over the world of local TED clubs, and that's called TEDx. We are going to introduce here so that all our academicians and all our young people who will be going to different occupations, they have that kind of say positive dissemination of information, knowledge, and then sitting there listening to those kind of lectures again benefits us because that's a positive learning. So that was our facilities, and I just wanted to talk about the permanent resident. The visa classes will be handling and taking example of Canada. So under permanent resident visas, there are skilled workers, as I said before, people with higher education and then with longer work experiences, skilled trades worker, those are the blue collar workers, and then investor visa for those people who have money to invest in Canada, and so there's another category. And entrepreneur visa is for those business people who promise that once I come to Canada, then I'll invest in a business, I'll set up a business and then employ a few people. And the sponsored visa is once somebody is there as a citizen or a permanent resident visa holder, then they can sponsor their spouse and then father, mother, like that. And a refugee system is another one for displaced people who had, who want to take refuge in Canada. And so, and we have another category that's called temporary resident visas. Sorry. And under which temporary foreign workers, they are given the temporary visas. And then visitor visa is those who go for as a tourist or for attending conference like that. And the parents and the grandparents super visa. This is another kind of applicable to those parents and grandparents who have their kids in Canada. And this is a multiple entry long-term visa, and very convenient for the parents when they have their kids in Canada. So when somebody goes outside the country, and it doesn't mean that one can be completely detached from, the country of origin. So, for example, I live in Canada and I'm a Canadian citizen, but I can still love Manipur and I can still work for Manipur. And so, because nothing stops me. So when an Indian stays outside and still holding Indian passport, and so they are called NRIs, non-resident Indians. And once somebody has taken the citizenship of another country, and if he or she applies for this status, overseas citizen of India, India doesn't have the dual citizenship policy. And so this is akin to the dual citizenship. And so when somebody has OCI, then I have the OCI, for example. So I have full freedom of living in both countries, in Canada and in India. The only privilege I don't have here is that I can't work for the government and I can't run elections and so like that. But otherwise, I can buy properties, I can do business, and then I can work, say, to help people here. So, benefits of study in advanced countries, that world-class education, because as you remember, we have been talking about the global opportunities. That means the competition and then the preparedness should also be appropriate to that kind of a competition. So global world-class education, when it comes to that kind of education, they have better education, they give better education. And the learning process is much, in a relaxed way. The students are not crushed as we do here. So, but at the same time, their education is much better than what we have here. India, none of the universities in India is within the first 200 of the world list of universities. So that way, when one goes outside, the education will be the world class. Excellent learning environment, as I said before, they are not crushed, they enjoy the student life and then they learn. And a higher salary tax when they have a, say, Canadian qualification or a qualification from the US or UK, they are paid more. Global employability. The education is recognized worldwide and respected worldwide, so that way they have the advantage. And a good life. So during the study, the life is much better there. The food they eat, the air they breathe, everything is different. We may send our kids to Delhi or for that matter, any of the metros in India. The pollution level, if we go by any index, there is one index called PM250. The PM, the particulate matter 250, World Health Organization recommends below 10. And then none of the Indian cities has below 100. And whereas in Toronto, it's about 8. So that's the difference. And when there was high pollution level in Delhi, the reports carried that this reading was 500. So we expose our kids to that kind of an environment, and then when they go to a country like Canada, then they're exposed to a good environment. So that's why we talk about, so we are prepared to help people who will be going to country like US, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. So we need, say, Overseas Point will be working, of course, but its efforts will never be enough to help the people unless there are a support system from all sides. And so I counted the support from the skilled worker export policy of the government. I think our government, because there are 600,000 job seekers in Manipur, and we can't think of the government providing them jobs. And then again, even though we have seen a very encouraging entrepreneurial growth during the past few years, but again, just thinking about giving employment to 600,000 job seekers is out of question. And so we need to have a policy so that we train people and then send them to advanced countries where they are always invited and welcome. And quality and job-oriented education in the state is a must also. and supportive banks for overseas study loans, because not many students, parents can support their kids, and so many of the students will be needing the bank loans for study. And it's not a risky loaning, because once they go there to a country like Canada, and where a work permit is assured immediately after study, then one can work, and then since they earn in dollars there, and so it's easy for them to pay back the loans. And so the banks should never consider that it's risky to loan them. And so there are banks in other parts of India who are very friendly, I mean, who have a good business with the funding of the students. So our banks in the state should also come forward towards this kind of business. And supportive parents and grandparents, because we cannot afford remaining in the original mindset of say living with kids and dying with them and like that. And so today they will be going, we can't stop them. Maybe they go to say other parts of India for work, but if they leave home for going to Bangalore, then why not they go to Canada and earn say 5 to 10 times the salary they get in Bangalore. So we need to think in that terms. And the local service providers, we need to have, that's why the overseas point here. So this is where overseas point fits into. Thank you very much. And it's not possible for me to give all the information about the opportunities and then even the explanations of the services. And we will always be happy to help people. And please come to our office at Andro Parking. And so we look forward to meet every one of you. And so thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, a great initiative of Overseas Point. Once Canada or US, all these countries seem to be far away, but with the arrival of Overseas Point, it seems it's a piece of cake. May I request all the dignitaries and the chairman of Overseas Point to kindly join our auspicious lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you.
I request all the dignitaries to kindly occupy the seat on the dais. Thank you. Thank you. We are indeed privileged to have so many well-wishers of the company. A few of them have volunteered to share a few words for this company. Taking this opportunity, may I call upon retired conservator of Forest Manipur, T.H. Ibobi Singh, to share a few words.
Close the way around. Honorable Speaker of Manipur Legislative Assembly, Sri Y. Kemchan Singh, and Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. Thangjam Davli, Chairman and Managing Director of Babina Group, who is President of this function, Sri Armstrong Pamay, IAS, Director, Youth Affairs and Sports and Education EU, and Dr. Radhesam Oinam, President of Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who are all guests of honor of today's function. All the invitees, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a very good evening to you all. It's a great privilege for me to say a few words as a well-wisher to the organizers of Overseas Point during the inauguration grand opening function of the service provider. First of all, let me just share a little about my recent experience which I encountered during my effort to send my son for higher studies after his 10+2. He passed out 10+2 this year in 2018, and while he was still in the school, he applied to many of the colleges and universities abroad through a common application form, and as an outcome of that, he got his admission was assured in many universities and colleges which are internationally renowned. To mention a few, like King's College London, University of Westminster, Brunel University London, University of Dublin in Ireland, University of Illinois, Chicago, to mention a few. He also applied through a channel which came to the school for a publicity to take the students from India by the University of British Columbia in Canada. He also applied in that, and he was given admission directly by the university. So till that point of time, I was very, very quiet, calm and happy, and then just trying to see, which college we have to choose and make the arrangements to send him, abroad. Ultimately, considering the cost factor and also the standard of that particular university globally, and also the law and order and other factors, which is more, suitable for us, to stay, we decided that I should send my son to University of British Columbia in Canada. Then came the real issue. We have to apply for visa, number one, and number two, to apply for visa, we have to show that we have already paid the fees at least for one installment, one semester. And I faced the real problem at that point of time. The correspondence letter from the University of British Columbia said, from this year, wire transfer is not allowed. So few channels to make the payment was given to us. One is that it should be through credit card. Second is through Western Union, money transfer. Third is through a bank called, I think, HSBC, which is, I think, a foreign bank. And lastly, directly to the university counter. I thought Western Union is everywhere here in Imphal also, so I thought it should be very easy. So I contacted all the Western Union counters through the bank, through the private companies. Then I was told everywhere that it's only incoming facilities are there. There is no facility for sending money from this side. So it's only one way to receive the money. Then HSBC Bank, there is no office here, and I just browsed through the computer, through the internet, and there was an office in Guwahati. And when I tried to contact, they said, no, it's already closed. I contacted somehow someone from the same bank in Delhi. They say, yes, we can just send the money, but no, it's confined to our clients only, our account holders. So I was again invalid in that particular aspect. Then Western Union was the only way left for me, because credit card we have only limited 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and then amount we have to pay is much more than that. So we cannot actually pay through credit card also, for the amount like the annual fees or semester fees. So I was left with only this thing to go through Western Union, but how to do it from Imphal? So maybe it was my ignorance or lack of knowledge. I was really wondering, how to do it. But ultimately I came to know that yes, some of the banks here in Imphal also do the service to tie up with Western Union. So that way I could pay the fees after running here and there, for so many days, wasting my time, energy and everything. Again, for application of visa, while I was in Delhi, I contacted few of those service providers. I went and met them. Each service provider, each company or organization is telling list of documents that's required. And one company is saying some document, another company is saying some document. Coming to the cost factor, some of the companies are saying, this much money is required, as our consultancy fee or the fee to be paid, in addition to whatever we have to pay to the embassy as well as the other essential this thing. So I was again at a loss. Some agencies are asking too less, and I was wondering, whether this particular company will really deliver the works. And some companies are charging too high, and then whether they are cheating me or they are asking, too much money from me. So ultimately, I decided that I should go via media, and then ultimately contacted a company in South X Delhi. Each of those companies who were asking so many documents, so many of these like affidavits, bank statement, income tax return, salary slip, so many things, and then to show my income consistently, that I have this much of balance in the account, for the last at least 6 months. Ultimately, when I went there, it was very, very easy for me, ultimately. So, just to share the experience I faced in trying to send my son for admission abroad. Here comes the relevance of my sharing experience with you all, that the overseas point will be really very, very helpful for each and everyone who are aspirants to go abroad, to study abroad, or to send their children abroad. not only the visa and also the fee payment, there are other things also required not to get the visa. And in the presentation made by the chairman of Overseas Point, there are few things. One is that IELTS, International English Language English Testing Service. We don't have the facility here. We have to contact, the nearest is Guwahati, so either Guwahati, Calcutta, Delhi and all these places, and we have to contact, and then we have to take the slot to appear in the exam. And going for the exam is not in one day business again. They are given tests in 4 subjects, four aspects. So it takes normally about nearly some minimum 2 days, or in between there may be some gap also. So the disadvantage of going for IELTS exam, staying there for few days, and sometimes for some people coaching is a must for this. So all these services, once we have Overseas Point here, will be solved to a great extent, in my opinion. Another is the medical. To go abroad, we have to have some medical tests, and this is a medical test given by that particular country or particular embassy, that this particular test is to be done through such as hospitals or maybe the diagnostic centers. The result of that will be sent directly to the embassy, it's not to be delivered to us. So these things are also an essential requirement of trying to get the visa. In a sense, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Raj, world has become so small, and at the same time, because of connectivity and other things, opportunity also are increasing day by day, and we have to take advantage of these opportunities. The services which are to be provided by Overseas Point, I think we have already had a glimpse of these things in the PowerPoint presentation. Overseas education, overseas employment, visa, skill training, career counseling, then also the IELTS coaching and also the test center, and also the self-improvement. And this is of relevance again, for elderly people also there is a provision like mind management for adults, meditation, and then also the positive learning and something like the laughing club or something like that. So all these things will be of very good help to all of us if we have to take the opportunities of taking advantage of global opportunities in the field of education, in the field of getting job overseas. And I feel that with Overseas Point being a service provider available at our doorstep in Imphal, we need not actually go here and there, gather the information, run from post to pillar as I did in my case. So, at this point, as a well-wisher, I have been associating with Dr. Raj I know him for the last almost 30 years. And even though he was abroad and then we lost the contact for a few years, the initiative taken by Dr. Raj will be of very much help to each and every one of us here. And I wish Dr. Raj and his entire team a very good grand success in their effort, noble effort, to have this overseas point delivering the services they are promising today. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us.
Next, can we call upon our chairman, Dr. Raj Singh, to please overhand the gifts to our dignitaries. First of all, we have the Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly, Sri Y. Kamchan Singh, the chief guest of today's ceremony. Thank you, sir. Next, we have the guest of honor, Chairman and Managing Director, Babina Group, Dr. Tangjam Dabali. The second chief guest, Youth Affairs and Sports Government of Manipur, Mr. Armstrong Parme, IAS, and the President of Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Radheshyam Oinam, with us this evening. Thank you, Dr. Raj.
Amongst the well-wishers, I would like to request Professor of Manipur Institute of Management and Science, MU, Sir Jibon LKS, to come up on the stage and share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and very good evening to all our friends here. First, Sri Y. Kamchan Singh, Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly, and Dr. Tangjam Dabali, Chairman and Managing Director, Babina Group, and Mr. Armstrong Parme, IAS, Director, YS and Education U, Government of Manipur, and Dr. Radheshyam Oinam, President, Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to say a few words on this occasion, and also my dear friends who are seated there. I'd like to cite some of my experiences about the very struggle about the advisor to the consulate advisor of higher education recently visited Imphal, but unluckily at that time, Manipur University was on strike, that many people know. But I was taking her around to various other institutions like NIT and then other institutions in Imphal. So now again, what I heard and what I learned from her is that the 4 points which I mentioned is still valid now. And the important thing is that when we think of sending our kids for higher studies abroad, we always think that it's very, very costly. But if you apply in the right way, and if you prepare well in advance and do a very good scanning of the universities, and also know the objective, how to apply it well, then you get very good scholarship. So that is it. That is what she also conveyed to all the participants in various institutions. This is very, very important. That is where there's also another space where our brother, my friend, Ras, Tamo Ras, fits in. Because this direction is very, very important. Otherwise, if you are not that well prepared, otherwise, you might be paying very high fees. Because when we were thinking of pursuing these MS courses at that time, it was not very expensive, because dollar at that time was around 8 rupees. 8 rupees. $1 was equivalent to around 8 rupees at the time. So when you translate it to the Indian, the fees they charge at the time, then it was not very costly because it comes to around 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs like that. But in today's time, around 70 plus. I think one should seriously think about getting that scholarship and fees and all that. The field of education. So I am just sharing that slice of experience of my life, that many of the premier institutions in India, like when we talk of IIMs or even IITs, naturally they prefer the applicants, if the person has a foreign degree, like they are naturally preferred. And also, the Southeast Asian experiences is also there, like many faculty members who are working in AIT, Asian Institute of Technology, and Mahidol University, Chulalongkorn and all that, many of them have these foreign degrees. There's a kind of market value for these degrees, like, they are very good universities like McGill universities, Melbourne universities, and then you have London Business Schools. And just, if you see the top 100, many universities come from this region. And these degrees are very, very valuable. And I'm very happy that these organizations like Overseas Point is just started, because it gives you the right advice, that information, and the right kind of knowledge is so much essential, because with that, this will be tremendous cost saving for the various applicants and all that. And with the experience of Tamoras, I think he and his organizations and his team will be doing a very good service to the society, and also to upgrade the level of educations, because when these children go and study outside, when they bring in this knowledge and know-how, there will be a lot of transfer of knowledge and information that is happening in our region. And I recently visited Tamo's organization. To tell you frankly, he had been writing to me that, Jibon, I want to come to Manipur and I want to do this and all that. I was thinking that maybe he means, yes, he wants to do something. Maybe he is about to do, because my experience is that, especially for the diaspora community also, many of my friends in US or in Canada and all that, when they say something, I'm coming, or I'm doing this, or I will do this, they generally do it. Suppose if any of my friends said that I'll be meeting you in October 15 or by this time, I know that he is coming and meeting me. I don't have to ask him again. So I was thinking that yes, he is coming and he's doing something. And I visited his office and I started appreciating him, because I know few people like whom I admire, because they see dull corners. Like one of them is Dr. Dhabli. I mentioned many things, many aspects about him, that he sees dull corners, and he wants to keep things clean and proper, and this is very, very important. And then when I visited his office, I was jokingly telling that, Amo, you have put a very nice dustbin there, because he even takes care of the dustbin, the color of the dustbin, and also the way things were arranged, the chairs, and also in that space, how a chair should be kept, and how a table should be kept, how a board should be kept, and how those things which need to be straight are straight, those things which needs to be bent are bent. So I saw that spark of quality in that organization, and I'm very hopeful that this will be doing, very valuable service, and I am very sure that this is professional organizations and a very, very, very serious job, because the quality is so important, because because there will be a lot of queries, like if I want to go abroad and I will be investing so much of dollar, and then there will be a lot of queries, and I'm very happy that there are people, and they are very, very competent people, and with Tamora's leading as a great leader, I believe that many good things will come, and this organization is going to impart very valuable service to our community, and wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
We thank you tremendously for your speech, sir. Now may I request the guest of honor of this event, Director YAS Government of Manipur, Mr. Armstrong Pame, to please share his thought with us.
Hi, good evening to everyone here, and as with regards to the honorable speaker here and to the other members with me on the dais. With great respect for the time, I'll just put 3 points across. First, congratulations to Dr. Raj and his team for having this thought of opening up a center here. Why don't we all give him a big hand? We congratulate him, but the success of his venture will be only possible if we open up our mind. Some of you in the front, I think you can spot some spot here on my face. Here. I thought I'm educated. I have access to the best doctor here in Imphal, but just 2 nights back, I was having a very severe headache. I called up my mom, who never went to any school. She said, put umarok, that, grind umarok with garlic. I decided to put it. The headache got cured, but I got the scars. So, simple as this. We all know the benefits of what Dr. Raj and his company will be delivering. But if we're not ready for it, many of the parents here, instead of earning 2,50,000 rupees in a month, which is an average salary earned by a nurse in New York, you decide to come here and work for 5,000 rupees or 12,000 for a government service. His company will not only go bankrupt, but our state will never grow up. I mean to say this, why I gave you my own personal example is, however much I know, if I have to stick on to these traditional ideas of, what I know is the best and what my mom knows is the best, I think it will not mean much of changes. Just yesterday, I was issuing an admit card for an exam which my department is conducting. A lady came up to me because I denied her an admit card. I asked, what are you doing? I'm now working as a grade 4 in one of the organization. And I asked, what's your qualification that you want to appear for this exam? I have done MA Imphal in this subject. From where? From this university. And what are you doing here as a grade 4? I was surprised. In my earlier posting as a DC in Tamenglong, one of my grade 4 was an MSc Biotech. The sense of belongingness and being sticking to our culture is great, but I don't want you to demean yourself so much that you end up willing to take up any post back here in the state. That is not a great sign of development. I think our earlier generations were much more adventurous than we are. They do not have an access to mobile phones, they do not have an access to Skype, but they are willing to explore new lands, new territories. Now, after we have everything, technology, mobiles, everything, we're still scared to go out. We're willing to come back and serve, forgetting all our degrees, and come back here and work in the state for a manual, I would say, all of this post, which does not corresponds to the degree that we have. So my encouragement to you, Dr. Raj, as people comes up here, I'm sure you'll be able to give them encouragement. Tell them why it is much better and much more fancier to go out and explore the world and earn in a much higher way and help our people. You know why I donated 1 month's salary for Kerala flood? I don't know if some of you have read. I donated 1 lakh rupees because Kerala is a country built by the people who have gone outside. And I don't want to help much for my brothers and sisters in Nagaland. They're having similar experience because they have not built their state as such. It's only the government's money that has come, mostly. I'm not going to help. What I meant to say is our state needs help from people, mostly from people who are doing well outside. I'll just give you an experience so that the diaspora who are staying outside will not ask for the similar things. In the previous government, a group of diaspora came together. I was also invited. I was listening to the talk between Honorable Chief Minister, the earlier Chief Minister, and them. I thought, and the government thought they're gonna pour in money, but they were asking about 4 or 5 crores from the government. What is this? No use. So, okay. So the first point is about opening up our mind and bringing back help to our state, because the state needs you to grow. Second thing, I'm a civil servant. I work for the betterment of the society. Now also I'm running out of time because I have to go back to the office to finish. I do not leave a single file pending in my office a single day. I clear all the files. So I work for the public enhancement, public growth every day. So my request to Dr. Raj is, a person who wants to be a car washer, a person who wants to be a plumber in Canada, because they'll be earning 1 lakh a month, will come to you. Please do not charge the same amount of money or consultation fees. When I come, you please charge the fees that you have to charge, because I can pay. But for the plumber and those hair cutter or grass cutters or car washer, they will not have the money. They'll be putting all their earnings on the line. So please have mercy on them. Because when I go and buy vegetables or fruits in a market, when they say, Ibungo, asi hapige, asi mantabige, I say, no, please don't give discount for me, I can pay. Please give discount for the next person who is poorer than I. So, please have sense of charity for the people who will be coming, your client who will be coming and seeking your help. Third thing, this will be my last point. The third thing is, please deliver the thing that you have promised. It is my earnest request, because 2 years ago, I was also approached by similar people. They wanted to set up so many, trainings for the plumbers, this and this and that. So I was quite encouraged, quite impressed. I even visited their farms. People who are trained here will be sent to Singapore. So I advertise in a big way. By virtue of my position and the reputation that people has on me, they started believing, they started sending kids for training. After training, what? They say they will be sent to Singapore to earn $15 a day or $20 a day. That means what? 30, 50,000 they can send back home. What happened? After the training of 5 months or 4 months, they were sent to some Chennai, Delhi, just to earn 6,000 rupees a month. And in a very bad, pathetic living conditions. The Singapore calling never came. So my earnest request, since you have invited the honorable speaker here and the respected, Dr. Dubbley is one person whom I respect a lot, and amongst the bureaucrats also, they have a high regard for Dr. Dubbley, and many more who are well reputed in the society. Now, if you fail to deliver the service which you promise, it will be failing all of us who are here. So my sincere request, please make sure that whatever has been promised, because you're going to advertise in a big way, please deliver the promises that you have made. So my best of regards to your institute, and I'm sure Manipur will experience a great change with the coming of your company. Thank you once and all.
Thank you so much, sir. That was quite inspiring, and finding your time out of your busy schedule. We really appreciate that. And may I now request the guest of honor of this event, President, Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Radhesham Oinam, to kindly say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Honorable Speaker, dignitaries of the dais, invitees, guests, media, and friends. Being from the Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to share some of the winds of change blowing over the state. And for that, I'd like to take your permission to quote 2 anecdotes. India, or rather the Northeast India, was once a gateway of commerce and culture, which connected India with East Asia and Southeast Asia before the partition, the devastating partition of 1947, when Entrepot Chittagong was given away to East Pakistan. And in the words of B.G. Verghese, the Northeast India became a cul-de-sac, a landlocked cul-de-sac. 1997, there was a Shukla Commission report, a High Commission report of the Prime Minister's office, which said, bearing Jammu and Kashmir, no other region in this world suffered as much as Northeast India had done. There was no comparable disruption. The whole Northeast India for 71 years was connected to the country with 2% of the boundary contiguous with India and 98% with international boundary, connected through a tenuous 20 kilometer Siliguri corridor. For a place like Agartala, which was about 300 kilometers from Bengal, from Calcutta, had become 1700 kilometers. Ladies and gentlemen, that has about to change now. The second anecdote is all about, we are talking about entrepreneurial winds of change. 23rd July 2009, there was an expose called Tehalka Expose in the state. If you all remember, that was a turnaround of our state's law and order situation. The next day, the media reported, and the whole media reporting had changed. There were no more deaths reported on the headlines of the state. Why? Because there was a fourth pillar of the state called media, which played their part. I've been telling all my friends from the entrepreneurial class that why cannot we aggregate ourselves and be the fifth pillar of the state to catalyze the growth? As you have mentioned, Dr. Raj, there are 600,000 people unemployed. But today, with the winds of change happening, we can do it. Because after 71 years, what was done in 1947 has been undone. On 8th of August, the prophecy of our Puya has come true. The gates are open now. One can go to the website, e-visa, get an e-visa from Myanmar, pay $50 and go across the border for 28 days. The border is open. And the More border is going to be open very soon in terms of the 6th land port of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, on 28 and 29 and 38, me and my team from Chamber of Commerce, I'll just take some water, participated in the CLMVT, that's the Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Thailand, Thailand Logistics Expo and a seminar. In one of the big expo happening, the seminar, there was this World Bank infrastructure economist who was actually holding the East Asia and the Pacific, and he was mapping all over. In the map, there was this AH1, Asian Highway 1, from Mayasot to Mayawadi to Mandalay to Tamil. We had the Asian Highway number 2, which talked about Taichilik next to Laos, then to Mandalay to Tamil. Then we had the BCIM corridor, which is coming up now, which is the Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar corridor, which is going to come all the way from Kumeng to all the way to Boshan, to Ruili, to Musei, to Imphal, to Silchar, to Agartala, to... It's not working here? Hello, 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 hello. Yes, so we have these highways coming in. So what we were at one time, totally landlocked, is no more. It's been unfurled and it's going to be happening. But the question is, are we prepared? Yes, when the Myanmar, this is some problem here. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah. So yes, we're talking about pilgrimage tourism, we're talking about medical tourism. But what's going to happen is we're going to be losing out opportunity. And once we lose this opportunity, we were nowhere. Because what we'll be going to see is just dust of cloud kicked up by the trucks passing through the highway. Assam government has already started with a policy of logistics policy where they're encouraging used warehousing, where they're going to capture the benefit of this. Asia has 60% of the world's population. India, or our More gateway, stands in the middle of that 30% of the population, the other side, 30% this side, which is basically 50% of Asia's population, 50% of this our population. With ASEAN countries, the trade of India is $80 billion today. With China, it is $85 billion. With Burma, with Myanmar, it's about $3 billion. There is a misnomer in our state when we talk about LEP and AEP. The Look East policy in 1991 was not meant for Northeast India. But we had to get that opportunity. 1991 started by Narasimha Rao was to stabilize the strategic control of China in that Southeast Asia. 2008, when there was a global meltdown or financial meltdown, India turned towards ASEAN and said, yes, we have to sign with you the free trade area. In 2010, they signed it. So that is when they became the Act East policy. So unless we, the business class, come together and do something, aggregate our strength, and we push through, and we require NRIs for their wisdom, for their capability, for their networking, because what we require today is a continuous back and forth private-public partnership and dialogue so that we have relevant policies. The government needs our support in terms of giving them the guidance. Andhra Pradesh, there's a theory called the Economic Development Board in the 1960s, which was started in Singapore. Andhra Pradesh adopted that concept. The EDB concept, there's a called Andhra Pradesh Economic Development Board, and in 2018, June, the bill has been passed. That is where we're going to be missing out unless we actually go in for this opportunity. The whole ASEAN country grew on a thing called the flying geese model. Therefore, they were following the inverted V system and following the goose called Japan. Myanmar will surge ahead very soon. From an importing country, they will become an exporting country. So unless we all get together or act together, advise the government to have a good logistics policy, we will miss this boat and we'll only see dust just going across. IELTS is a beautiful concept. I believe there were 45 British Council and 46 IDP centers in India. Guwahati is one. And you have been talking about getting into Imphal. There will be nothing like it, but in the same time, as Dr. Jiman also has put in, if you could also put up about SAT, GRE, GMAT, and I wish not taking more time, without taking more time, I'd like to wish Thoi Overseas Opportunity Services Private Limited a runaway success, an exponential growth, not a linear growth. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are so honored and privileged to have you among us today. May I take the privilege to call upon the stage the chief guest of the event, Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly, Shri Y. Khemchan Singh, to address this ceremony.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful evening. The overseas point, the points you expressed is wonderful, and I should say that you think of Manipur. You have a very beautiful life in Canada. You have been there since last 16 years, but then you have seen from there that how you can help the Manipuri youths. It's a wonderful idea. I really appreciate, and whatever, you need help from, my individual level. I am ready to help you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, an honor to have you here with us. May I call upon the president of this function, chairman and managing director, Babina Group, Dr. Thangjam Dabli, to kindly address this gathering.
Honorable Speaker, Sri Y. Khemchan Singh, Sri Radhesham, President of Manipur Chamber of Commerce and Industries, distinguished invitees, friends from media, and the team Overseas Point under the leadership of Sri Raj. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me and also to give the status of being a president of the function. It's a great privilege for me. And being the last speaker of the program is also difficult for me because almost all the faces look slightly tired. And if I speak a little longer again, that will be again the addition of what to say in a negative way. Anyway, I'll just make it very short and to the point, a little bit of summary of what has been shown and presented, that there are two areas we need to discuss. One is about the education. Number two is about the employment generation. These are the two factors where we have focused today. Education, if we have to see the facilities in the state, it's very, very limited. There are a few good government schools and colleges, very few in number, supported by moderately big number of private schools, and hardly any private college to name. So that's the limitation that we have in terms of education. And we have one university and a few more universities coming. Every year there are thousands and thousands of the local boys and girls going for education beyond the state. You name any cities, metro or two second or third tier cities in the country, you'll always find Manipuri students. That's a big drain of economy from the state. This is one thing. Then, if at all we have to get education outside the state, why not we go a little beyond the country, go overseas and get better and better education? That's the theme of this evening's program. Instead of struggling in the country itself, let's go beyond the country, go to other countries of known qualities like US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the English-speaking countries. These are the countries where we can target, and surely Overseas Point will be able to help whosoever is interested to go and to pursue education in those countries. This is the first thing. The second thing is about employment. It's a small state with 28 lakh population only, but we have a huge number of unemployment. The statistics tells us that it's around 8 lakh in the initial figure, but that has been revised recently, and it is now has come down to around 4 to 5 lakh unemployed, educated is there, unemployed educated youths. And the government of Manipur doesn't have the capacity to employ so many unemployed people because its full capacity is only 1 lakh. Manipur government can employ 1 lakh people in the state, not beyond, but there are 4-5 lakhs unemployed. Then how to manage these people? There are only solutions. Number one is entrepreneurship development that will lead to the self-employment, and they will also generate employment, and the entrepreneur will employ more people. So this is one way. Then another thing is go beyond the state, maybe in other states, in the country, and if possible, go beyond the country. There are facilities, and the working environments are really good. If you go to Canada and work, the salary system, the working environment, everything much better. So instead of struggling in the state, struggling in the country, let's try beyond the country and get the best out of it. Yes, of course, we have our traditional system of sticking to the family core values. And personally, I come across almost in day-to-day practice. Organizations every alternate day khudingi mi amam lakani hal nama lakani engon the approach toropasi doctor yaraga degi chanupi si magi opening am to pibi uma sin nurse ni kalkara da thabak to bachai tara phare lesabi ni do yum da halang ningi adu yaraga dis dang tung lehen bio adu mai to different areas the work to me am ji, especially for the girls. For boys it's little different, but for the girls ayamba parents sing si machana pi sing si ayamba ultimately, mafamsida settle toraga mayumakai pana fazana lehanbasi. Parents kudumaki apambani. I think even the crowd here, everyone will like that their daughters should be settled in the state after getting married. How many years they have worked outside, that's different. Aduna sigi factors is show them later adubu. A time will come, we have to forget all these family core values, and we have to go, we have to sacrifice to some extent and get the best opportunities that we have. Armstrong Pamenasu, there are a lot of promises made today, right from the educational level, job placement, then the visa of different categories, and then the skill training, then skill certification system, then English language training. A lot of things have been promised today, but let's keep the promise. And that with these few words, from my personal side, I have my best wishes for Overseas Point, and Sri Raj and his team, all the very best. Thank you very much.
The pleasure is all ours for you to be here with us, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable thoughts. The end of a story is the beginning for many others. On this note, may I take the request to call upon the stage our Managing Director, Overseas Point, Sanjeev Konsum, to please give the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, respected President, guest of honors on the dais, Chairman and Vice Chairman of Overseas Point, our most valued invited guests, fortunate enough to be guided by Dr. Raj Singh, Chairman Overseas Point, and also backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues. So once again, I would like to state that we are most grateful to all of you for giving us your time, the most precious gift of all. Thank you for being with us this evening. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. We'll now have a photo session with the dignitaries and the company stakeholders. Please come up on stage.
I request some of our well-wishers to join the photo session. The well-wishers of today's ceremony, T.H. Ibobi and Sir Jibon LKS.
Now, all the staffs of the Overseas Point can also join for the photo session.
Can we call upon the stage the family member of the company's chairman and managing director and all the stakeholders? Can we have the family here to
take a picture?
To take the picture.
May I request everyone to remain on stage as the most exciting part of the event is about to happen.
May I request the chief guest of this function, Honorable Speaker, Manipur Legislative Assembly, Sri Waikampton Singh, to kindly do the honor of cutting the ribbon. May I request the Honorable Speaker to declare the launching of Overseas Point.
Overseas Point is launching.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Overseas Point, we would like to thank each of you for taking your time out of your busy schedule.
You are a wonderful audience, and we hope that we have been a good host equally. We request you to please join us for a quick refreshment. Thank you so much for your time. Good night.
ꯆꯠꯂꯨꯔꯦ ꯅꯍꯥꯟ ꯀꯣꯂꯦꯖ ꯆꯠꯂꯨꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯒ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯇ ꯈꯪꯕ